fifth grade. I'm down in my basement. I think I've told you that my son has a YouTube channel, so I'm lucky that I have all this cool equipment to film these neat videos for you guys. And today I'm going to show you how to make a value scale. This is just for practice. And then next time we have art, I will show you how to use value on the op art projects that you made last time. See you soon. Miss you.
I loved seeing on Seesaw your op art designs, your black and white designs that looked like this. That was great. We're going to try and take them from this to these examples that have value. But before we do that, we're going to work on a value scale. Hopefully you just watched the fun song about doing tints and shades. In that video you saw a couple of different ways to make a value scale. I have this document on Seesaw that you can print out. If you don't have a printer, no worries. It's easy enough to just make it yourself. You could be fancy and use a ruler and just make some boxes. Or if you don't have a ruler, you could even just do it on a paper without the boxes. Here's less boxes. You don't have to have 10. This is like your challenge value scale to have all 10 squares. So the easiest way to do it is to start with a pencil. So if I was going to do this one, this rectangle gets colored completely in with my pencil, and it gets colored in dark. So colored in dark, that just means I'm going to put a layer on, and then I'm going to keep coloring until it's really filled in. The way I'm using my pencils is what artists call cross hatching, and that means that I'm going in one direction with my pencil and then I'm crossing it. I'm going the other way. So now I'm filling in this one dark as well, but not quite as dark as that last one. How do I do that? I just lessen the pressure of my pencil. I'm not pushing down as hard. Keep going along. Again, cross hatching, pushing hard but not as hard. I'm getting a value or a shade of gray that is getting lighter. I find it's always easier to go from dark to light. You can always add more pencil to make something darker, harder to have to use your eraser and make it lighter. Starting in box number 3, I might not even overlap. I might just start doing one layer, and in 2, I'm holding less pressure, barely touching my paper. Okay, and there's my value scale with pencil. And this one I made down here, I'm going to do a value scale in watercolor paint because I have it in my house. If you don't, no worries. Use a pencil, use whatever you got. You can even maybe put a drop of food coloring in a cup and make your own paint. All right, I'm going to choose a color. I think I'm going to use purple. Anytime I use watercolor paint, first step is just to put a little water in there. So again, my first box is going to be completely full of purple. Using less water, more paint gives me a darker shade of purple. So when I'm talking about value, I'm talking about going from light to dark. I have to be careful the amount of water I use on this thin copy paper, right? Certainly not the watercolor paper that we use at school. Okay, my next box. Still gonna have some paint in there, but just a little less, a little more water. Next box, more water, less paint. I'm going from dark to light. Now I'm starting to really use just a lot of water. And in here, I'm not even dipping it in the paint, I'm using what's left on my paintbrush. It's a little harder to see. but there's my value scale using paint. I even grabbed just a marker because I was curious if I could do it the way that we add water to marker sometimes. So if I make my dark, and I really put a lot on, I'm wondering if I can make a value scale just by stretching out some of this paint. So let's see. Here's my dark. Still dark. Not the easiest, but it works a little bit. I definitely am going from dark here. So there's 3 different ways to make a value scale. I could also do it with a colored pencil. So I'm coloring dark, I'm cross-hatching, going one direction then over another. Draw a little softer, cross-hatch again. Softer again, cross. Start really lightening up how hard you're pressing on your paper, barely pressing at all. Lose the cross-hatching and spread the lines out. So there would be another example of a value scale with color pencil. You only need to make one value scale. So choose one method to go. It can be with pencil without having printed this out. Make your own squares or just go from dark to light using a pencil. See how many different values of gray you can get with a pencil. Or choose one of the different methods I showed below. Then go ahead and upload it to Seesaw and we can all look at each other's value scales. See you next time to add value to our op art designs.